So the Springboks have just announced their side to take on the English, and there are certainly big changes compared to what we saw last week. But jumping straight into it, in the front row, it will be number 1 Oxnashare, number 2 Bongion Benambi, and number 3 Wilco Low. So last week we did see Thomas du Toit in that tight head role. This week we see Wilco Low, who wasn't initially named in the Springboks squad for the November internationals, but then was brought in due to an injury. He's a big man in that prop and jersey, will certainly add something to the Springbok pack. In the locking duo, number 4, it is Eben Etzebeth, and number 5, Arge Snyman. So this is actually the first time ever that these two have started in a game together. So believe it or not, with the fact that Eben Etzebeth is the most capped Springbok of all time, Arge Snyman also quite a few caps under his belt, normally coming off the bench. But these two have never started and now get the chance to do so. In the loose forward trio, we see 3 changes compared to what Rassie did have last week. Number 6, Sia Khaleesi. Number 7, Peter Steph du Toit. And number 8, Jasper Wiese. All 3 men making their way off the bench up against the Scottish. Now moved into the starting side rather than Marco van Staden, Elric Lowe, and also Kwagga Smith. In the backline, Grant Williams and Manie Libbok are the 19 combination, which of course is 2 more changes compared to what we saw last week. Although with the selections that Rassie went with up against Scotland, there were always going to be a lot of changes, and I think a lot of the changes so far, quite a few people did predict. But Grant Williams, the speedster, normally gets the chance off the bench, but with the Springboks going with a 5-3 split here rather than the 6-2 or 7-1, it means that they no longer need that versatility as one of their replacement backs. So Williams has been given the license to go out there in the starting side alongside Manie Libbok as well. So this could be a very quick-paced South African backline going head-to-head with Marcus Smith at number 10. In the centre pairing, of course, these two were going to get a chance. Number 12, Damien de Lendi, and number 13, Jesse Kriel. And then in the back 3 more changes for Rassie's side. Number 11, Kurtley Arendse. Number 14, Cheslin Colby, and number 15, Apelele Fasi. So overall, compared to what we saw in the last match up against Scotland, in terms of the starting lineup, we have seen 12 changes to the starting 15. Now, normally sides can't get away with making that many switches week after week, but something we've learned about the Springboks is even when they do so, they are still extremely strong at rejouling straight away, and I think that's what we'll see up against the English here. But I already mentioned it, a 5-3 split for the Springboks in this matchup. Number 16, Malcolm Marx. Number 17, Gerhard Stennekamp. And number 18, Vincent Cox. So that means that Thomas du Toit, even though he did start in that last game up against Scotland, and overall, I thought he had a pretty solid game, but he has been taken completely out of the Springbok side, mainly due to that rotation that we do see from Rassie Erasmus. It's nothing personal, it's just the way that it works out, that you can go from having a blinder one week to being missing for the next one. Number 19, this is where we see Elric Lowe, and number 20, Kwagga Smith. Now, of course, Arge Snyman as well as Etzebeth will be the starting locking duo, but Peter Steph du Toit also offers versatility in those locking jerseys, so that allows 2 loose forwards off the bench. For the Springboks, number 21, Kobus Reinach. He did not play last week, so his first chance of November. Number 22, Honore Pollard. There are a lot of people concerned about the Manie Libbok kicking team. Now, they do have Cheslin Colby in the starting lineup as a little bit of backup. Normally, we would see it be Jaden Hendrickse, but of course not playing in this game. But Pollard to add that experience later on in this contest. And the same can be said about the man at number 23, that being Lukhanyo. So actually opting to not go with Willie Leroux off the bench in this game, which means that he will not be able to bring up his 100 caps by the end of the year. Instead, if he wants to get them, he will have to play in the July internationals. But nonetheless, that is the Springboks lineup that is announced to take on the English. England won't be too far away from announcing their side, and we will also have a preview of this match when both teams are announced a little bit closer to the kickoff. But do let me know what you think of this lineup in the comments down below. If you did enjoy, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel, and I will see you all for the next one.